Oh yeah, I'm gonna do another football picks video, and I'm feeling damn good. Let's just quick pop on here and check my picks. See what these puny football gods have against my awesome predicting prowess. Okay, well, those aren't very good. Huh? Oh, okay, right, fair enough. Okay, well, at least I got the Monday nighter. When I fell asleep, San Diego was up 24-0. So I know there's no possible way. Son of a bitch! What's happening, everybody? Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter, and I'm doing a little bit of damage control this week because I did not do very well, as I've noticed that multiple people who have done picks didn't seem to do very well this week. I think the best record that I saw was, I think somebody was 8-6 or 8-5 or 7-5 or something like that. So I mean that was pretty good, but I didn't come anywhere near that. But before we go into how my picks did and everything like that, of course, it's a little bit about what happened in Week 6 of the NFL. Starting with one of the major stories anyways, wounded Ravens. Ray Lewis and Ladarius Webb are both out for the season. Lewis with I believe a torn tricep, and Webb with an ACL injury. Now, again, that's two major components, two major keys to Baltimore's defense. Neither one of these losses, Ray Lewis or Ladarius Webb, obviously are very good for this season. What might be a little more pressing in the future is whether or not this is going to be Ray Lewis's sort of swan song, because again, Ray Lewis is 37 years old. He's been doing this for a while. He's got a lot of miles on that body, so it'll be interesting to see if Lewis decides to rehab this and try to make a comeback, or if he just decides, maybe this is my body telling me it's had enough and that's a career. Ladarius Webb, I think, arguably is the bigger hit on that defense for this season. Ladarius Webb, one of the top corners in the league, and he really sort of anchors that pass defense. The question has to be raised, can the Ravens defense still be trusted through the rest of the season? I know that they've got a real stiff test this week in Houston, so it definitely is not going to get easy right off the bat, but we'll see how Baltimore's defense can rebound. Phillip Rivers on Monday Night Football shat the bed like the bed has never been shat in before. One of the greatest collapses in Monday Night Football history. We're talking, you go into the locker room leading this game 24-0. Your defense has played quite well up to this point. Phillip Rivers goes out and just stinks the place up. I mean, there's no getting around it. Rivers' line in the second half included 2 fumbles and 3 interceptions, which led to 21 points. 21 points came directly off of turnovers. Can you completely blame Phillip Rivers? Almost. The offensive line was not exactly doing him any favors, but then again, you got to remember he's against Von Miller, Elvis Dumervil, a very good pass rushing combination that they have there in Denver. Not taking anything away from the Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning, 35 unanswered points in the second half is huge no matter how you get them. If Phillip Rivers controls the ball better, San Diego wins that game. No question in my mind. But Phillip Rivers, the one thing I really can't stand about watching Phillip Rivers play football, when Phillip Rivers drops back, if there's any little bit of pressure or if the game's sort of starting to go a little bit downhill, he throws these stupid fadeaway off the back foot passes that are just lame ducks. I mean, they're cans of corn. I could intercept those. I'm no fucking athlete, but I can't stand watching him sometimes because he's a good quarterback, but he makes stupid decisions with some of his throws. Underdog Nation. This was another week where we had a lot of underdog teams coming away with victories. 8 of the 14 teams that were considered to be underdogs this week either in popular opinion or by the spread or whatever, came away victorious. And on the season, this is strictly by the spread, strictly by the way that the spread is set up, and I know I don't do spreads, but whatever. 39 of 91 teams who were classified as underdogs have won their games outright. Never mind just beating the spread, have won their games outright. That's a percentage of around 43%. Now, that's a lot. That seems like a big number to me. That seems like a lot of underdog teams who are coming away with outright victories. Again, not even talking about beating the spread, coming away with outright victories. So I'm actually going to pose the question to you. Why do you think all of these underdogs seem to be coming away with not just beating their spreads, but outright victories? Do you think this is just sort of status quo for the NFL? Do you think it's a matter of actual league parity, that the difference between the top teams and the bottom teams is getting smaller and smaller? Do you have another reason for it? Do you have conspiracy theories? Whatever you happen to have, are teams overrated, underrated? Whatever you think the reasoning is that we're seeing what seems to be an inordinate amount of underdog teams come away with outright victories, I want you to post it in the comments section below. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. I could rant off about 20 different topics, but these videos are long enough as they are. So I would really like to hear your comments in the section below as to why you think that is. Let's take a look at how my platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks did in week 6. Start with the platinum pick. My platinum pick was the Minnesota Vikings to beat the Washington Redskins. I believed that the Redskins were going to be without RG3. That proved to not be the case, and RG3 was a major factor. Down goes my platinum pick. Washington 38, Minnesota 26. So the Redskins come away with a big, convincing victory there over a team in the Vikings that was looking very, very solid. Looking at my gold pick, I had the Pittsburgh Steelers to defeat the Tennessee Titans, and that didn't work out either. Tennessee wins that game by a field goal, 26-23. No gold pick for Justin. My silver pick had the Atlanta Falcons to defeat the Oakland Raiders to stay undefeated. The Atlanta Falcons defeated the Oakland Raiders to stay undefeated. Atlanta 23, Oakland 20. So, yay, silver pick. And my bronze pick, I had the Baltimore Ravens to defeat the Dallas Cowboys. They went out and they did that, 31-29. Bronze pick was mine, but of course, the Ravens suffering major losses on the defensive side, as we mentioned. On my platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks this week, I was 2-2. That has me sitting at 16-8 for the season. Taking a look at the private and public pick'ems and how the rest of my picks did in week number 6. Overall, this week was not very good. I was 3-11 this week. Dangerous. Just bad numbers. Correct and incorrect are going to be there for you. On the season, I am still above water. I'm still just a little bit, the waterline's right here. I'm 46-45. I'm barely there, sitting in the 49th percentile on Yahoo. Taking a look at the private pick'em, I remain in 4th place out of 9. I currently have 399 of 738 possible confidence points, a clip of about 54%. So I did go downhill, obviously, from last week. This week I only raked in 31 of 105 possible confidence points, a clip of only 30%. Shout out to our Week 6 winner, Junebug25. They ended up with a record this week of 5-9. It was good enough for the win. So they were 5 correct, 9 incorrect, raking in 45 of 105 possible confidence points for a clip of 43%. And do I really even need to tell you who's still leading the pack? It's friggin' Tom Mullins, 51-40 on the year, 442 of 738 possible confidence points for a clip of 60%. I will say the gap every week sort of seems to be closing a little bit, but at the same time, Tom's still out front, come hell or high water. So again, congratulations and a shout out to Junebug25 for being our Week 6 winner, and Tom Mullins for remaining our overall leader. Now, let's take a look at my platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks for Week 7 in the NFL. Looking at the bronze pick is the New York Giants playing at home against the Washington Redskins. Maybe I'm a little bit of a sucker for punishment, trying to pick another game involving Washington, because they're a team that's so difficult to predict, because you'd think on the defensive side of the ball is really where Washington is weak. But then you jump to the other side of this game, you look at the Giants. The Giants secondary has been shown to be their weakness in terms of their defense. But then at the same time, they go out last week and they play the 49ers and they only relinquished 3 points to one of the top teams in football, which means I should have stayed 20 miles away from this game, but too damn bad. I prefer the Giants' upside on offense. The Redskins seem to run on 2 guys entirely, and that's RG3 and Alfred Morris. You look at the Giants just have more weapons. You've got Eli Manning throwing the ball, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. You have Hakeem Nicks and Victor Cruz at wide receiver. You have I almost lost his name. Ahmad Bradshaw running the ball in the backfield. I prefer the offensive upside of the Giants. I'm going to take the Giants playing at home, a tight divisional matchup. I think it'll be a close game, but divisional games always count for a little bit more, and that's really where the Giants seem to come up big. So I'm going to go with the Giants to beat the Redskins at home for my bronze pick. My silver pick sees the New England Patriots playing at home against the New York Jets. Jets go out and put up a very impressive win against Indiana last week. Indianapolis, close enough. Where Sean Green ran for 3 touchdowns, and that was really Sean Green's coming out party this year. So, I mean, if they can keep Sean Green going, that's great, because as we all know, their quarterback situation is tense at best. So, run the rock, run the rock, run the rock in terms of the Jets. The Patriots, of course, went out and lost a close game against Seattle. In Seattle, as we said, Seattle, one of the most difficult teams to play at home. I took the Patriots last week. I thought the talent would be enough to push them over the top. And for a little bit, it looked like it was going to be, but then this receiving core for Seattle is really, really interesting. At some games, they look totally awful, and then other games they look like Superman. So they're kind of hard to predict, but especially when they play at home. But again, Patriots coming back home, extremely good home team. Jets, really a 50-50 road team at best. I got to take the Patriots to bounce back. The Patriots have to be pissed off about losing that game in Seattle. I think they come back and put a whooping on the Jets. I'm taking the Patriots to win outright at home against the Jets for my silver pick. My gold pick sees the Chicago Bears playing at home against the Detroit Lions, and I don't think there is any facet of this game aside from maybe Matt Stafford to Calvin Johnson where Detroit has an edge. I think Chicago is overall a better team. Jay Cutler's kind of got the offense clicking a little better now. Their defense, I mean, it's Chicago. Chicago remains an all-world defense. I don't see any path for Detroit winning this game unless Calvin Johnson puts up, 13, 14 catches for $175 and 3 scores. So unless Calvin Johnson completely explodes, and make no mistake about it, Chicago's going to be doubling Calvin Johnson all day, and if they take Calvin Johnson away, I don't trust any part of the Lions' run game. I don't trust the majority of their other wide receivers. I don't see how Detroit's going to put up points in this game. I will take Chicago all day, playing at home as my gold pick to beat the Lions. My platinum pick, the St. Louis Rams playing at home against the Green Bay Packers. I was very high on St. Louis last week to beat Miami. Didn't happen. Very good team effort by Miami. Green Bay, on the other hand, it's like, oh my God, Green Bay's back. Green Bay never friggin' left. Aaron Rodgers puts up 6 touchdown passes, 3 of them going to Jordy Nelson. Aaron Rodgers both won me a fantasy league this week and almost lost me another one. Rodgers was the only player that my opponent had left, and every single touchdown I was just like, he's the fantasy cheat code. I'm going to get screwed. The Packers, for damn sure, on the road. I'm taking them as my platinum pick to beat the Rams. Now let's take a look at the rest of my picks for Week 7 in the NFL. Please do better than last week. That's the Week 7 show for you folks. Hope you come back next week for Week 8. Again, it was an exciting week of football games last week, even though they didn't go all that well for me. Again, I appreciate every single person that comes on here to view my videos, and I hope again that you come back next week. Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter. Seriously, how the fuck did San Diego lose that game?